We started off with really our domestic market. So we built liquidity hubs in the States, in Mahwah, in New Jersey, and one in Basildon, just outside London. And the core concept behind those liquidity centers was really to put our markets for the first time in each of those geographies into the same data center. The history in the States was that our options markets and our equity markets were in disparate centers, some in Chicago, some in different data centers around New York. But Mahwah was the first time we put all of our equity engines, all of our option engines together to create a substantial liquidity presence on the East Coast. When you think about it, 30 to 40 or 40% of US equities and 40% of options, flow through that hub now. We've done exactly the same in London. We've taken the match engines out of Paris and Holland, and we've co-located them next to each other in Basildon alongside our derivative market. So we've got the future, the option, and the equity markets all there together. And the intention is to offer access to other market operators to put their engines next to ours. So for example, we've just built a dark pool for Goldman Sachs, and they have now co-located that market, Sigma X, next to our markets in the Basildon Center. And that's an early example of what we hope will be a trend as people start to understand the concepts of liquidity centers, understand the importance that bringing pools together not only takes the friction out of global trading, but allows effectively people to start doing much more complex trading than they're able to do today. Things like multi-asset class, multi-leg strategies, where the latency effects of those complex trades is taken out of the equation because effectively all the markets are co-located together in a single center. And then we just see this rolling out through Europe. We're working with the Warsaw Stock Exchange to build them a hub in Warsaw. We're doing the same in Qatar, in the Middle East. And then, our plans with the Tokyo Stock Exchange and for a hub in Tokyo. Clearly, the timetable for one in Hong Kong is set by the Hong Kong Stock Exchange with a new technology and the new data center. So we're very excited for them about that. And the same in Singapore. We're seeing real client demand for us to establish a hub there. So it's going to be a journey. It's not going to be, we'll continue to roll these the infrastructure out, the network, the hubs, as client demand dictates and as markets become more accessible to that international community. The idea is that each of those hubs will in effect have three components. They'll have, first of all, we'll provide compute infrastructure for banks. So a bank won't have to buy servers anymore. They won't have to buy bandwidth. We will provide all of those. So in effect, we'll buy cabinets, we'll buy compute power, we'll buy network infrastructure. We'll have market access gateways, enabling them for us to route their business to whatever markets they wish to execute. There will be a data layer on top of that, so allowing them to consume market data from the local markets and aggregate that with away market data. We can apply risk filters. So if there's sponsored access trading or direct market access, we can apply risk filters to that trading. So in essence, you can almost envisage a scenario where a broker just needs a good trading idea. They don't need to build an infrastructure to execute that business as long as they have the exchange memberships, or they have a relationship with a local broker for that sponsored access. We'll provide the infrastructure that enables that trading. They can use their own routers, their own algorithms, but everything else can be provided by us, including historical data services like tick data for algo backtesting and so forth. That platform as a service, infrastructure as a service, and we will be establishing in the middle of this year a cloud service as well, enabling people to take compute infrastructure on demand, storage on demand, databases on demand. And we think this is the way that the world will go as people try to reduce the costs of trading. We take the friction out of that trading. We try and mutualize as much of the infrastructure as possible. And then ultimately, you can envisage a scenario where someone says, I only want to trade for an hour a day. So I only want the compute infrastructure for an hour a day, and we just spin it up for them at the start of day or end of day, which is the high trading points in a trading day, and then take the infrastructure out at the end of the day. It's just the technology will enable us to do that very shortly.